but we certainly understand the connection of war to the kinds of economic problems we're having today and the reason we're part of the Occupy Wall Street movement. Before I begin, I want to thank the people of Egypt and Tunisia and Libya and Syria and all of the people who have participated in Arab Spring. I'm not sure that we would have had this powerful a movement if it hadn't been for those other people who took to the streets because they were doing without food, without water, without clean air, without justice, without a decent government. All of the things that we are beginning to see we are lacking here. They showed us the way, and I think we need to thank them as well. The effects of war are many. Hunger, deprivation, lack of health care, public education, environmental protection slipping away, all kinds of shortages, shortages of freedom, shortages of dignity, shortages of respect. And that's the thing that I'm asking you to reach out to veterans and other people, not just veterans. How about children doing without adequate education? The military-industrial complex has these effects on us all. It's not about just stopping war in some foreign country that we chose to get involved in, that our government chose to get involved in. It's about realizing that we have suffering children in this country and around the world. We have health care problems in this country and around the world. We have civilians being killed in war at a much higher percentage than combatants than there were back in the World War I days when they promised us this was the war to end wars. At a time when a socialist, Eugene V. Debs, went to jail for opposing war and ran for president and got 1 million votes from jail. Don't be afraid to be called names like socialist. Sometimes they have some good ideas. We have no enemies. I don't think the poor are our enemies, like a lot of our politicians seem to think. I don't think the homeless are our enemies. They're people too. Right on. I don't think children and women are our enemies anywhere in the world, and especially in this country. I don't think the immigrants are our enemies. We're all one. We all want freedom, we all want dignity, we all want respect, we all want food and water and clean air, and we are not getting it, and we won't get it until we continue to demand. And that's the true value of this movement, is to stay fired up, stay angry, stay nonviolent, and remember this, the police are not our enemies either. They are our brothers. And the reason I know that is that there are a lot of police out there who are smart enough to realize that when the big guns start coming after public sector workers, the police and firemen are next. Not just the teachers, not just the social workers, police and firemen are on the list too. That's who the public sector workers are. They know that. So treat them with respect. We all get angry. I get frustrated too. But be nonviolent, treat the police, the people who give directions with respect. They're there to protect you in most cases. I can't speak for those white shirts up in New York, but that's another story. One of my favorite, well, I guess probably the only politician or early person I respect unequivocally was Thomas Paine. And one of the things he believed, all right, one of the things he believed is that revolution that we had against the Crown of England, it was up to people in other countries to carry on their own revolutions and gain their own freedom. There was no idea that the idea of the American democracy was that we would spread democracy by force of arms in the world, which is what we have today. And that's why we have endless war. That's why this endless war is causing us the problems we have with our economic system. Speaking of economic system, and thanks to Frank for bringing up a lot of the food issue, but I'm reading a book now by Paul Krugman on the coming economic depression. Now, I'm 72 years old. I was born in 1939, and I was born during the last depression. And odds are better than even that I'm going to die in the next one. So I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen for me and for my children, my grandchildren, and now my great-grandchildren. But I think that we can turn this around. I really think that a lot of ideas about who should hold the power in this country and what we should allow them to do to us, they're gone. And the fact that you're out in the street here today, and even some of the people that went to march with the veterans today, they're thinking about it too. We have to reach out to people that might help us and invite them to come in. And if they have angry arguments, we have to find ways to diffuse those and get them to see another way. Anyway, that's my advice about how to build this movement. Veterans for Peace, Chapter 166 is here to help you do that. And I want to quote, as long as we're quoting great Americans, I would like to quote one of my favorite things from Thomas Paine. He says that what we need to do, among other things, is extirpate, that's one of his words, extirpate the horrid practice of war. And if we don't know that war is horrid after this century of slaughter of civilians and nuclear weapons, and now we have drones where you can kill somebody and cause collateral damage without even looking into their eyes. If that isn't enough to turn you against war, then we probably won't ever end it. But that's what I like about this movement. We can stay together, we stay with those values and everything. War is an evil, and it causes nothing but grief and misery.